What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we've got some of the most absolute blessing news for my channel. This is going to be some hot takes, but we're going to be going over the brand new OTA, and there's some crazy changes in here. And it wouldn't be crazy without a Galactus change. So this is going to get pretty nuts. As a lot of people know, I am not a fan of Galactus. I don't think the card should exist whatsoever, but you know, there are some people that are enjoyers, so by all means, if you're gonna hate me in the comments. I don't care. But for the most part, there's gonna be some changes that we're gonna go over, and if you guys can, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's go over the first one. I just want to get right into it. First change, man. OTAs, they get crazy. Sometimes they just go absolutely nuts. Your boy Galactus got nerfed, dude, and I'm happy. I'm really happy. I've been advocating for this for a while. I was even talking to a friend of mine, another creator, Super Tech, and he was like, bro, when he made them a 6-7, he thought it was a good thing. And I was like, well, shit, man. How do you defend yourself against this? So with that being said, man, Galactus, he's going to be going from a 6-7 to a 6-5. It says right here, we expected Alioth to find a fast home in Galactus decks, which wasn't a problem in and of itself. Exciting new cards shouldn't hit the cutting room floor because existing cards might like them too much, especially if that card is Galactus. The whole reason we reworked him was to give us a knob that could rein him in. Given his metrics spiked well outside of his acceptable range, for the over a week, we're taking a harder line with this change than usual based on the impact we need. We liked Galactus right where he is. He was before Alioth, so that's our target range for him for his performance. I mean, honestly, dude, the second Alioth came out, everyone just started going right back to Galactus. And that's kind of a problem. That's been my biggest thing and I'm going to kind of talk about Galactus real quick. My biggest problem with Galactus isn't necessarily that he is an existing card. It's that he kind of creates a very unhealthy space for the game. And a lot of people don't really want to accept that. They don't want to accept it, but it is unhealthy. Like, the main mechanic of the game is to win 2 of 3 locations, and you have a card that it doesn't matter their text or whatever it is, it's just he's gonna destroy those lanes. You have cards like Professor, Armor, Colossus that, you know, says they can't be destroyed, but he kind of does like a Jeff thing, and he kind of goes above that. He just blows up the lane. So the problem is that when you have to fight it against a 6-7, a lot of people are trying to cheese their way or trying to, you know, shortcut their way to basically playing the game. And honestly, I just don't like that, because when you do things like wave into turn 4 Galactus, it's just like you're having to be put into a 50-50, and then the rest of the game is just nothing but 50-50s. But Galactus decks are designed to cripple you. They're designed to cripple you. Being forced to play one lane when you can just put a Hobgoblin in the lane, a Green Goblin, it doesn't matter if you put 7 power or not. A Hobgoblin can just completely take that away from you and take up a lane spot. There's not really, I mean, normally when you would have to play against a Galactus player, or even just in general, a Goblin, Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, you kind of just like, you see those things happen to your board and you're like, okay, well, I'm clearly going to lose that lane. I'll just ditch it and I'll work for something else. The problem is that Galactus just kind of goes for that lane anyways and just kind of wins the game. And for me, it's just not a very fun, nor do I think it's a very healthy card for the game. I'm happy that they're making it a 6-5, because one of the biggest problems is that I was explaining this before. 2-cost cards on average are 3 power, and it would take normally 3 cards in a lane to stop a Galactus on average, especially for early game presence. Now that it's a 2-5, that's a lot more doable. I was actually scared that they were going to do a 2-6, but a 6-5, sorry. A 6-5 is a lot more doable. There's a lot more cards in the game right now where it's just, you know, it's a lot less oppressive to have to worry about. So with that being said, that's awesome. I'm really happy about the Galactus thing. Next up, we got Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde basically is going to be going from a 1-2 to a 1-0. I believe the reason for this is that they said Kitty has been places, she's seen things, and it's been a fun ride. Kitty was an integral player in the metagame's best deck at least 4 different times. And each of those decks was mainly distinct from the rest. That's a pretty rare feature. It is. And speaks to her raw strength as a card that both eats access energy and has cool mini combos. Angela and Hulkbuster, however, as we continue to make similar synergies, we want other cards to get their opportunities to compete with Kitty. This change is a little preemptive, as we expect Kitty would be too strong in October without it. And we will likely continue to explore different executions of Kitty for the future patch. One of the things is that people don't know about is that with Elsa Bloodstone, I think it's called, she's going to be basically making the game. It's going to be interesting because I'm not entirely sure how it's going to interact, but Kitty Pryde's going to be able to abuse that power boost, however she works. But yeah, don't quote me on that yet. I do know that she can get up to some pretty absurd numbers. I don't think that the 1 power is going to be a complete game changer. I mean, she was already getting into the 10s range anyways. I mean, why even play anything else when you can play Kitty Pryde and kind of just not get, like, you know, take prio, and she kind of benefits from that. But I can see why they made the change. She was pretty strong. We're going to go into Psylocke. I guess Psylocke is going to be getting a buff. She's going to be going from a 2-1 to a 2-2. That's kind of cool, considering that now it's going to feel a little bit better trying to use her, considering that she doesn't really, you know, it's kind of rough to play her at times. She kind of, like, Time Stone kind of outshines her. And I would say, sorry, I'm getting a little tired here. It's like really late tonight. I would say it's pretty much, she kind of gets shined by a lot of cards like Wave and Electro. I guess basically it says right here, we had this change internally for a while. We wanted to wait and see how the dust settled on some of the live decks that play with energy ramp and cost reductions. We hope Psylocke can eventually join the Electro, Magic, and Wave crowd as other common ways to push for big plays. Ideally, she maintains a distinct identity for those options as a 2-cost card that offers different curves and a deck design opportunity. I mean, to be honest, she can now go in Cerebro 2. I'm going to be running some Cerebro 2 with her in hopes that maybe you can do her on turn 3 to get, like, you know, Professor X or Blue Marvel. That could be pretty cool. I think that's a pretty sweet change. I mean, it's nothing big, but yeah. Squirrel Girl is going to be going from a 1-1 to a 1-2. Basically, it says right here, like Mysterio and Shauna, Squirrel Girl's total power has been on the low side for how much space she takes up among your locations. She has largely been confined to supporting early Khazar decks for new players and death-based decks in competitive. We're glad to have her continue on in both those roles, but she's a fun, appealing enough card to give her a little bit of more power if she sees power to see if she can find more homes. She's been acting pretty spooky. She's been acting pretty spooky since this change. Though you should be careful walking through Central Park next month. I always get kind of tongue twisted when they make these little, like, jokes at the end of it. Sorry, I'm not always the best at reading these type of things. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Schoolgirl, I mean, a little nudge with that, it's fine. I mean, I don't think the squirrels are going to be getting the 2, right? It's just going to be basically just her. And then Snowguard Hawk. Basically is going to be going from a 2-3 to a 3-3. And the bear is going to be going from a 2-3 to a 3-4. Interesting. So they're giving them different, they're going to be giving them different power levels, which is kind of cool. I know that a lot of people right now have been using basically, Quinjet to really benefit from these. So I guess it's kind of nice when you have Quinjet. It's not like you're just getting these 1-cost bear and hawks anymore. You're going to have like a 2-cost, if anything. So it's not going to feel like you're filling up your hand and hand dumping. So with that being said, guys, that was pretty much it for today's OTA. I'm sorry this kind of went a little longer than intended. But yeah, if you guys can, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit me up in that notification bell. Alrighty, guys, peace.